So briefly, ladies and gentlemen, let's see here. This is East African communities where Sudan to normal height since 1812. Okay. So, in overview, this is Sudan, but we have these confusions. This is Sudan 1, Sudan 2. Now we are trying to create three Sudans here, and then because Sudan Khartoum, Sudan Jew, Sudan Bur. Okay, that's the confusions here. But in this agreements, of course, this is just a compromise to settle Sudan, which we have here. This is our Sudan of 1812. Look like this. Okay, so and the entire Sudan is like this. This is from Sudan there to East Africa. So that's why we opened this one here within the source map, and then we opened Equatorial as a Sudan. Okay, so I guess it gives you a clue out of those ones there. Otherwise, you guys you need really expansions, and then we can't, of course, expand the deal, and then thoroughly look into it how we can expand it. Okay, as the case scenario is concerned. Okay, so that is just overview. This is the Sudan. Okay, and then this is Uganda, this is Kenya, this DRC there, of course, this Central Africa, this is Ethiopia there, of course. The case is this locking here, the locking which you are seeing there, the green area is the locked, which is lock of Sudan. So what can we found? We want this Sudan to written as a copyright of 1812. This is the entire Sudan there, you see. So configurations, this is where Sudan normal goes. So if normal goes there, and then we open up, and then if you see there that is opened, then you see there that is opened. Okay, on the wall map is opened. Okay, so the wall map has it opened, so you can see there is opened. Wall map even is opened. Okay, so this is the wall map. This is the East Africa. If you look at the East African statements, this is their statements. The capital is Arusha, of course, and Sasa, and then you name it. Okay, and briefly about East Africa. So that is East African communities, of course. So briefly about our companies, and then what we do for a livings, and then that is the Sudan. Okay, Sudan, and then our opening. So this is where we are suffering to open it, because we are editors and editing the map of South Sudan. South Sudan map is not accurate, and then there is no accuracy. They close it up, we are editing and opening this line to connect Sudan. Okay, so that Sudan is the representative in East African communities, as you can see down there. That is Sudan. Okay, in East African communities. If you don't know East African community, East African, this is Congo, this is Uganda, this is Kenya, this is Tanzania, this is Rwanda there, Burundi there. Okay, Ethiopia there, Central Africa is there in this line here, Central Africa. Okay, if I open for you, up to open for you, then this is Central Africa. This line here is Central Africa, and where the case here is the green line is Central Africa, and then this one here is Ethiopia. Ethiopia is also around here in these equatorial regions. Okay, so this is Ethiopia, this is Kenya, this is Uganda, this is Tanzania, this is Burundi, this is Rwanda there, and then this is DRC Congo, and then this is Central African Republic. Okay, so now we open up here, and then giving this policy back to Sudan for that cases, because Sudan has the seat. You can see there has the seat with the Uganda for many years. As we said, is more than the age of my grandparents. This is since this year, 1812. in history. 1812 is many years ago. So many years ago. Okay, it's not a fake and it's not a forgery. So that's why shall we not respect and then shall that not be the solutions. That's why it's a criteria, one criteria. We have to agree and we have to comply with the rules. Otherwise, these are just briefing and transformations for the South Sudan who said they want their presidential seat recognized in Sudan should know that this is the map they should take, the map of Equatoria. Equatoria has, we said Equatoria has fight many years. They've been Sudan, not the representative, but Khartoum has been the representative. If you look at the Equatorial budget, that is very broke, of course, but the budget is broke. Nobody very rich there, and if they are cattle keepers, they are farmers, and then and they have one truck, two truck, four trucks, whatever they have airline. That is in airlines. It's not a big deal. So the guy is still broke, and of course, maybe and the South Sudan is also broke. But they claim here they are stars. That's if they claim they're stars, yeah, we recognize you and we isolate you in the middle. And then we try to settle this one Equatoria as Sudan to East Africa. And then you are there in East Africa if you're still the chairman in East Africa, and then drawing this kind of green map there in the Africa, and then you want your seat there as a chairperson, and then that is up to you. You Sudan, which is a copyright of 1812. Otherwise, we write never open doors for these South Sudanese to penetrate there. Let them not go. So keep them more informed, and then keep yourself informed. So isolate them, and then keep the isolations on their hand until they comply with the Sudan policies and the copyright policies, because we cannot hide, and then they cannot backlog such kind of a politics. A politics is not a backlog cases, so for which you can steal someone child and then kill it right now, and then you can go and steal someone Greenland and then burn it away, and then you can steal someone fuel tanks and then to demolish them and then burn some people homes. That is not required. It's all backlogs by you guys. You are doing bad things. You are not face to face, and then you are lying the politics, and then you sit right there on the map. People have to open you, Google you, and then that's the list they see there, and then you're offensive. But the statements doesn't even coordinate. You are not a personal part of the copyright. What about the foods? The UNs want to bring the food, and then you block the food entries. What about the food is coming from Libya, and then from Ukraine, Russia is the one sending the food? What about they're using Russia Ukraine routes for UN supplies? What about this is South Africa is the route they're using? And then you sit on the road, and then how do you expect? Who was the finance? That is Sudan is the finance. And then when it comes to putting cross on the face, and then how do you expect we can transform to that cross if our priests they were not able? Okay, so they are not able. If they trust this is not Sudan, this is another countries. No trust, no prayer there, safer. And the prayers which can be trust only a prayer is if we ask of your age, which country were you born? You are born in Sudan, and you look older than 15 years old. And you live in Canada, you live in Australia, you live in the US, you live in anywhere and abroad, outside Sudan, or outside the South Sudan, and then you claim you were born in the South Sudan. You are not born in the Sudan. How possible? South Sudan is 11 years old, and then Sudan has been more than the 1812. That's why we are able to say a prayer, because we live there repeatedly. We don't know which style in Sudan, and then have to put cross on my face, and then remember, and then forget some other things, and then forgive other people the problems we have there in that particular countries. So how far do you see yourself? Are you really in the mood, or in the mood of helping the people by showing your leadership examples, or are you able only to provide a trouble example to the people? That's what we try to mention. And then of course those questions and answers is a regards of your own, and then not our own. But will you agree if that is the compromise for the Sudanese or for whoever to comply? And then that should be the map that we provide. You should use it. And then step by steps we will take it to another levels. And then that's the least we know. Sudan is open border to Uganda. And then how to unite this business which we just created. Okay, so that's the least we know, because your transformation, then your example is very poor qualities, and then you did not qualify it well. In Canada you did not qualify well, in USA you did not qualify well, in Australia. If I said bring out for me all the Canadians, let them follow you in Canada, how many people can you babysit around addition around Canadian stadium? If a Pope can host all the city populations, and then will you be able to host all the city populations as a South Sudanese, if that is your mess you are creating there, and then you don't comply with the Equatoria? How old is Equatorius? 1812. Okay, if 1812, how rich is Equatorius for you? You sleep on their richness, wealth. You don't want them to gain that power, and then you don't want them to resource out of it, and then how possible? So as being Equatorians, we work hard, and then we are able to provide you. If you say you are South Sudan, you be there in the middle. We can recognize you your star in Sudan, and then we Equatoria. But our poverty is there. Okay, whatever in our bank account, we are, our balance is non-sufficient. Okay, for this kind of involvements in the world map. And then we look at our skills levels and managerial, and then we call it edition and management, and then we call it people trust, and then we call it what people really need. That's why we are able. Shall that be your richness as a social that, and then you are very poor in skills? Your skill is dumb, and your skill is killing the people. That's why people have to run away from you all the times. They cannot comply with your decisions because you are not 100% a trustee. Go slow, and then till people understand you, go again. Till people understand you, go again. That is when some forgiveness could be around there. People may support you, not let you down. You know, in occasions to occasions. Otherwise, there that is by me, Wayne Hassan, as is it told.